pull up the appropriate notes, or the appropriate map type thing. Where are all my maps gone? Where's the overlay?
Do you want swamp noises?
If you've got them.
I got them.
Where's the... Oh, here it is. You set out in your coracles across the river. Since you have learned, or rather, since you have pacified the river from its more bestial denizens in recent era, you're able to make good time. The weather is good enough. It's cloudier than it's been. The air is starting to get muggy and a little intense as summer approaches. The humidity bears down. Still, the clouds take the edge off the sun, which is not bad for most of you, and especially urgent for your koboldine hangers-on. In your coracles, you can make a good time and make it to the swamp proper in about 1 day. Whereupon you have to lay low and camp on the coast, unless, of course, you wish to travel in the night.
Not out here now.
You settle in. You make appropriate precautions. And I begin rolling discreetly on the random encounter table to see how the sojourn goes.
All right. Big money.
Big money indeed.
Wait, is high rolls good or bad?
High rolls are very bad.
No. Golf. We're going for golf here.
Okay. Actually, no, the first one's high rolls are good. So, at dusk, no, you're in travel. At late evening, you're clear. At midnight, you're clear. Pre-dawn, you're good. You go through the night without being harangued by anything horrific. From here, you can begin your travel deeper into the woods, deeper into the swamp proper. Now, travel through swamp is slow. Like, very slow. You're going to move about... Let me check the notes on that real fast. Moving overland. Now, the boats help, but you can still only move about 9 miles a day through this swamp. Backdrop.
Anakin keeps his mouth shut and constantly spies the trees. Whatever horizon there is, keeps an arrow knocked.
The air here is thick and muggy. Dampness invades everything. Every little crevice of your body accumulates unpleasant sweat, and yet at the same time it always seems slightly too cold. There's an uncanny air here, one which you find quite displeasing.
Did we disembark at that 12,
I assume you're...
at the river bend on the north of the bend?
I assume you briefly disembarked, but then you departed from the river into the swamp, passing through the porous boundary between swampland and the river proper.
Did we, for mapping purposes, did we do that at the bend or further east? By how many miles? Just,
You were 12 miles in.
Okay, 12 miles, I got you. So just after the bend. Yeah, I see it there. You have the bend, it starts bending south, and then as it starts bending south, it gets swampy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right where it starts to get porous is when you can go into the swamp proper.
Okay.
holy men among you, which at this point is limited just to Davi, can sense a strange air here. Not quite the same as... It's not the same sort of darkness as he's faced in the grounds below, but there's a sense of an older, stranger power than the light here. Something other, something uncanny.
Onan will cast his one spell, Detect Evil.
Good choice.
Background radiation of evil is at a minor tick-tick-tick on the Geiger counter. This is a place which has been blighted, but is recovering. In fact, it would have been worse in the past, but now things are changing a bit.
Okay. That'll last for an hour, I think.
Well, we'll get some more useful information over the course of that hour.
An hour.
Since he can focus for that entire time, as you are not yet interrupted, aside from the intermittent buzz of dragonflies whippoorwhirling across the surface of the water, the ever-present and slowly increasing intensity of croaking frogs, there is danger here. There is something malicious in the frogs. Which is strange, because he's seen many harmless frogs before, and frogs do not normally accompany primordial evil. But these frogs are giving him a very bad vibe indeed. There's a tinge of chaos in them that remains.
Are we talking like palm size, 2 hands?
Well, the frogs that you see are mostly palm-sized. They fit neatly into the backgrounds.
I mean, he'll disseminate that information. Beware of the frogs. The corruption of the darkness lingers in them.
So Perderi, it also just occurs to me we have an extreme chance of getting lost here, and I don't know that there's anything we can do about it that I could think of. But and what's even worse is, according to the instructions from the light, we should seek to get lost. We should. That's essentially what that is.
I mean, we should go to where the light doesn't reach, to where the canopies is so dense the light doesn't touch the ground. I didn't quite get a lost vibe from that, but that is a good. Thank you for that reminder. Chalk can be easy to miss. Should we leave a mark on the trees with like axes as we pass, or
What if do we have any dyed clothes? Perhaps we could have it placed high up
How
into
far
what?
from the river are we actually going?
we
A
don't
few
know?
miles.
Yeah.
We went 12 miles to the west after the bend in the river, but we're still kind of near it, right?
You went
Right,
12
and-
miles west to the bend in the river. Then you start going north into the swamp.
Yeah, looking at the map so far, like if we were to try to get to where the swamp becomes dark, it seems like we would want the tree line of what forests remain and what hills are there, because there won't be hills, right? Because it's a swamp. So that means we need to keep the hills and trees off to our left and away from us until they're not there anymore, because we need to be able to
There's
not see.
trees all around us.
That's true. We won't be
Yeah.
able to see soon. That's a good point. After a
But
few
if
miles.
the river is still west to east behind us, we can always basically go south and hit river.
We won't know where south is.
Yeah, it'll be hard to determine. I don't know if they have primitive compasses at this
You have
point.
nothing resembling compasses. However,
Yeah.
you do have one really important and useful compass, which is the sun.
The sun? Okay.
Yes.
Which we're trying
Yeah.
not to see. we're
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
we're trying to get rid of that.
Yeah, you're trying to get to a place
It's
where
one of
you...
those things where the moss. I don't know.
I mean, we get.
Here the
and dust.
kobolds go about the moss again.
How good is Monogamy at climbing trees?
Care a lot about moss, okay? But there could be moss on one side of trees. I don't know if that's just certain regions or what.
I believe Monokin is currently being assailed by his toddler, but I can tell you with confidence that Monokin can go up very easily.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm here. Yeah, I was not the toddler, the newborn.
Bibby.
Yeah, we're far enough north where the moss should generally be useful in direction keeping.
Hmm.
But yeah. So Ross, you're suggesting that we leave some sort of like a flag or marker, something that's like cloth, like hanging up.
Yeah, some kind of like just streamer on a stick, tie it, have people scurry up a tree and put it up the top.
You were about to suggest putting the kobold at the end of a stick, weren't you?
No. No.
I don't have anything other than, I don't know, do we have like traveling cloaks?
You probably need them. It's damp here.
Yeah. So I don't know that I have anything to spare for that. So best, I mean, we could try to place very obvious markers. We could maybe fashion some crosses and place them in places.
That's not a bad idea.
Oh,
Would be the
that's
first-
all. Yeah, that's like very. What's the word? A parochial. Anyway, like here we come into this evil place and we start putting little crosses down in places as we go.
Definitely
It
a
wouldn't
mark
be
of
the first time
defiance.
that Dobby has improvised a field expedient holy symbol.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll try something like that. We'll trying to place them in. I mean, if we can place them within eyesight of one another, I feel like it's just gonna get harder and harder the deeper we go. I don't know. But we can mark a tree next to the cross with maybe a direction marker and distance.
It could also be that we place them in eyesight of each other, and then a fog rolls in. We can't see from one to the next anymore. But
Yeah.
in that case, we could theoretically like wait it out.
Yeah, I think like because
I
it's
think
very
trying to just have it
a
within
creature
eyesight
could
of
try-
next.
a creature or troll could also trample them. So having some sort of a distance marker as well on a tree, something more permanent, would be helpful. So I guess we'll try to do something like that.
Chisel it into trees.
If anyone has a better idea, please speak up. But we'll go with that for now.
We got a fairly big group, I think. So we could have one person putting up like cross markers and another person chiseling into trees, and hopefully between the two, it'd be okay.
Yeah.
That's a good plan. Or at least it seems good enough. I've got to learn. This is a bad habit I have, chat. I keep saying a thing that pops in my head and then I attempt to qualify it to introduce ambiguity where it doesn't need to exist. It's a fine plan. It should work.
All right.
You leave the
then-
trail behind you. Granted, it's only so visible a trail you can make. You have no access to fluorescence, but if you but you will be able to carefully examine the trees and figure out if you've been here or not. Eventually, you reach the end of the day without being harried. The canopy is starting to thicken, but you are not yet deep enough within the forest to. You are not yet deep enough within the swamp that the line between daytime and nighttime is starting to blur. You bring your coracles afloat on you bring your coracles ashore on one of the high, non-submerged portions of the swamp, and begin preparing for the night's camp. Do you build a fire?
I think we kind of have to with this kind of like wet and cold.
Yeah, with the how
Plus, we have to actually
Cold it
cook our
is.
food.
Also
I'm
true.
thinking we do need to. We need to dry our socks.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is why
there is-
this is approved of by your NPC hangers-on. Especially Aelin, who is tired of being soggy and in a boat. As the crew spin up the fire and spark it up with their flint and steel, the sound of the ribbiting frogs around you gets louder and louder. And once the fire starts to build, you can see their eyes glinting around you in the darkness. Small frogs, but also
Look at
larger
this.
frogs.
You want frogs?
I do want frogs.
Nice.
Perfect.
They're not sinister enough, but
Allow your imagination to fill the gaps. They gather around. You see them around you in a slow circle, quietly gathering. On the edge of your firelight, you can see their eyes flickering in the dark in time for the fire. They seem to be getting a little closer every time you look away. What do you do?
We'll light a couple torches and bat them at wave them at some of them to try to see if it will repel them.
Scare them off. The big get defensive postures. Bang.
Pasling will
sticks
hold
on
the torch and
shields.
do it.
If they're croaking at us, maybe making noise would bother them.
big frog.
Yeah. I don't know if they're attracted to the fire or if the fire is keeping them at bay. So
Waving
if they're
the torch at them
attracted to
should
the
help.
fire, we'll figure out.
Maybe we could attract them all the way to the fire and burn them.
One moment, I'm pulling up a relevant file on my computer, which tragically requires me to frantically rummage around through a bunch of things. Okay, it's not that big. That's too big.
Oh no. Oh, I didn't want to go like this.
In frogs?
I mean, we did ask for this. We literally walked right into the frog place.
Frog time.
Oh, they're cute little guys.
Where
That's a
is-
lot of them.
Yes. Where is Monacan? There's Glorp. More's up here. These guys are gone. Wallace back. Doc is back there.
These are still palm sized, right? Yeah.
These ones on the edge of the vision, you think they look about the size of hunting dogs. Which is, unfortunately, not a size you would prefer to see. Whereas
That is to say, all the ones that have an icon. Is that correct?
yes.
Right.
Trying to get all the
What's,
miniatures in the right spot.
What's the mood of the room? What you're all feeling? We just made camp, so I don't know what
I keep
supplies
wanting
we
to
leave.
see
We
if,
ran.
waving torches. It's probably not going to.
Oh yes, waving torches.
Sleep. I feel like sleep is going to be marginal. Not that we shouldn't do it, but like that we should. If we have time to attempt to sleep and scare and then run, we should do that. And if we only have time to run, is this distance correct?
Approximately. They're meant to be a little farther than this. That's about right.
60 yards? I'm going to be
Yeah,
honest, my vote is run. At 60
Into
yards.
the boat. Flee into the boats, and then hope the frogs can't outswim you.
Yeah.
Frogs are usually okay at swimming, but they don't. They did lose their tails, so to speak.
Yeah. What
Yeah, I
is
think try- I
the
think try to
penalty
flee-
for going without sleep?
Well, you can't regenerate your health. You cannot renew your spells, and
Right.
there's no formal mechanic for it, which means I get to get creative.
Okay.
Suffice to
Well,
say, you would be attacking at a penalty, and probably moving slower.
Right.
Okay.
If you were like a lone ranger with a heroically high constitution, the situation would be different. But none of you guys are that.
Okay, so Ross is leaning towards run.
I'm also
Anyone
leaning
feeling
towards run.
particularly brave? I mean, we have oil and stuff, right? But there's a lot of them.
It looks like waving torches at him isn't doing shit.
Waving torches at them is unfortunately not doing shit.
Yeah, they do outnumber us.
And
Okay.
There's no profit to be gained here. We should probably just
To the
bail.
boats. To the boats.
We'll just have to sleep later.
If they start pushing it after us,
Sleep in the day like
throw-
normal people.
3 oil to try to create a barrier or distract them.
Okay. It sounds like the consensus is that you will retreat.
Yes.
The party retreats, protecting the vulnerable within them. As you do, the frogs pursue, maintaining a close distance and maintaining roughly the same distance and maintaining a bellowing, constant, oppressive ribbiting. You get into the boats. You start to row away.
I wonder if they're chasing us out of their territory or if they're trying to tire us with pursuit. I guess we'll find out soon enough.
It seems that they tend to tire you with pursuit.
Oh.
As you go away, they continue to follow at roughly the same distance, aggressively ribbiting as they go.
If they're trying to wear us down, then we should change our plan.
Well, I don't know. I mean, people are really good endurance hunters. We should be able to outpace them, I'm thinking.
Well,
Though
we're not running, we're in both. Like, we have
it
to
is
run.
terrible terrain. Yeah.
Yeah, like we're rowing and they're frogs.
Do anyone want to throw some rations?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many are we throwing?
So how many frogs approximately did we see?
15-ish?
15-ish. That's a good summary.
You throw like, I don't know, 5 or more rations.
Yeah, let's dump like I'll dump 7. That'd be like half the number of frogs we see.
Okay.
Okay.
You dump 7 rations, and that removes several of the frogs from your pursuit.
Okay.
Maybe now
We'll
a
just
counterattack,
go west.
advance to the
Yeah.
rear with a sleep and volley, and then try to use
Yeah, that's what
morale.
I'm thinking. I don't know
I
if there's any
agree.
like defensive position that we could take.
Well, at the moment you're still in boats, but I assume you guys, do you guys plan to make this volley from within your boats, or?
I would prefer that we find like some solid ground to fight underneath or on top of it. I prefer to fight underneath it, but I don't have that option. So,
The
yeah,
guy in plate armor agrees. We should head to the nearest
yes,
beach.
we should, beach the boats and then like try to draw them onto land if possible.
Well,
and then
we don't
rush
need
them.
we don't need to draw them on. We can just keep them back with the volleys until they get close, and then we can use melee.
All right,
As they drag us into the water. We'll just have to deal with it.
it's a real possibility. Still, they're not that bad. They're hunting dog size. They're not the size of, say, oxen or war horses. Sure, you've definitely seen giant rats the size of war horses.
Worried about being bitten, not about being swallowed.
Well, I don't know. The kobolds are pretty small.
Yeah, I'm not happy with any of this. None of this is looking good.
Okay. You guys have been keeping these guys on a merry chase for about an hour now. You guys are definitely ready to. You beach up the boats. You settle yourselves and prepare to receive the enemy.
Deal yourselves, bananas.
Who has sleep that they can cast? How many of the
Aelin.
is Aelin the only one?
I think
Well,
we
I
have one
believe
spell
so. No, I took Moore and Onan with me. By the way, Rich.
You did? I thought you said you
I
were
did.
going to not do that.
I did. After Ross's good point, I decided to bring them, and I bought a second boat for them.
Alrighty. I will copy paste them in just a second. Whoop. They don't want to be that close. Alrighty. Roll initiative. No one is surprising anyone at this point.
Who's the party caller?
That would be AJ.
You got it. Who? Good thing we're not surprised.
Yeah.
Okay. First, declare spells.
Sleep.
Okay.
Light.
All right. I assume that you guys are currently just fighting by like lantern light and torch light,
Yeah.
which means
I
that
don't need 'em.
you're not going to be able to effectively fire at them as they approach because they will not be visible for long enough. You can't really see them coming. Wait, no. What am I talking about?
What's wrong
you
with
guys?
our continual light?
Yeah, I just remembered, like, as I was saying that, yeah, you have continual light. You can completely shoot them up. All right, so who wants to do ranged attacks as they approach?
Manaka,
Kobolds do.
certainly.
Okay.
Well,
Wolfkill and Leofstun.
Also, what kind of range of vision do you actually need to get that round as they come in the fire?
Like 60 feet, you guys can do it.
Yeah.
But if it was
So-
just like 20 feet, that would be too little.
Right. Well, I was just gonna say like the kobolds could just do it anyway.
Yes. Okay,
We're gonna have
their
to-
armor class is 12. Please roll attack, but please let me know how much damage you dish out.
Well, okay. Let's see. No, the 12 would be repeating that. That's not how many damage.
I know.
Okay.
All right, Manakan hits once for 6.
I hit 0 times. Just firing at nothing.
Perderi hits twice for 2.
Okay.
Terrible.
Wolfkill for 2. What was the AC again?
12.
12.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously,
This distance is accurate, right, in yards? So they're at 105 yards?
No, it's 105 feet in this instance. They've been following it at a range of about 60 feet.
Either way, I'm at -4 to hit with a short bow, so I missed both times.
Alas.
oh, what
Oh,
is
no,
the?
no, you get a chance to hit them as they approach, and they are approaching, so you're gonna get a chance to shoot them up as they come close. So don't worry about the range penalty.
In that case, I hit once for 1 damage.
Okay.
Owenin hits once for 2.
Leofstun hits 1 for 1 and another for 2.
Layoff Sun hits the same one each time and kills it. So you've killed 2. Also, then they close to melee-ish. Yeah. Once again, Batu is in the front line. They have initiative, so they will attack first. Fortunately, their attacks
Okay.
are not. Let's see
Just
how
roll
vicious
it.
their attacks prove. Okay.
Don't say their attacks aren't that strong and then like, oh, you're dead.
That would be yes, true. That would not be. That would be kind of a dick move.
All right, roll to save versus death.
Alright.
Alright, Pasling takes a hit for 2 damage, unless their AC is higher than 19.
Hers is not. She's plate and a shield.
Alright.
Or no shield because she's using a bow that turn.
Alright. Take a note of that.
Yep.
Alright. Glorpert is missed. Glorpert is missed again. Ulfkel is hit for 1. I think AC 18 hits Ulfkel.
Yes.
Ulfkel is hit a second time for 1. And Batu is not dead.
Yay.
Alright. So. Ooh, Ulfkel. I need a saving throw from you.
Oh boy. I don't think I made that.
Unfortunately, no, you don't. We'll come back to that.
Oh no.
Right, they're all poisonous.
So here's what. So the Pasling is. You are assailed by gigantic toads the size of hunting dogs, and it is a unsettling experience because this is the first time you have confronted such a creature that is just a mouth propelled by a unthinking, ravenous desire, and legs far unreasonably powerful by their size. It batters against Pasling with one vicious spring, knocks her shield aside, and clamps down its jaws around her, the chainmail of her leg, worrying the flesh beneath the armor. Ulfkel is similarly harried on both legs, one breaking the skin and leaving an uncomfortable itching sensation underneath. Batu, facing something almost as big as he does, manages to sidestep his attacks. Now, the rest of you may move and attack in melee.
All mine are accounted for already.
Alright, if you have not
Yeah,
yet
I
shot
already
grenade,
shot.
Disregard that. Apologize.
Where's Fromgag and they're there?
Yep. Did they shoot, or are they,
They did not shoot, so should they shoot?
No, go get in there and mess them up.
Let's do
Sword
something.
time.
Hey.
That is a kill. Ulfkel remove Slay's frog. Tell us how that goes down.
Well, that was Dobby with his club, and so he just swings between the eyes, batters it.
Bonk. Splats it dead.
And Fromgag and Naum have pole arms, do they?
Yes.
Okay, well. Looks like a hit. And another hit.
Alright. 1d8 plus 1 for each.
6 and 2.
Kill. Kill.
Very nice.
They step in and impale the creatures, ending their horrendous existences.
Does sleep go off?
It does. The few survivors are so few in hit dice, they all vanish immediately. And I assume, as these are frogs and not soldiers who you share a language with, you simply dispatch them.
Mm-hmm.
If they're close enough together for that to be effective.
It is. It's a fairly wide radius effect.
Yep, we will dispatch them. How many do we want to turn to trophies and bring back for
Slimy
sale?
frogs?
Or yeah.
You can carry him.
We should bring back parts just for Ullman.
Ullman, yeah, that's what I was alluding to.
I don't recall bringing a frog back to him. I could be wrong. I don't remember if we've done that.
If they're poisonous, we probably shouldn't eat them.
Perhaps some them legs.
Don't lick the toads.
Owen,
I wanted to.
Owen and Ndabi could actually purify them and make them edible. They've done similar miracles have been performed in service of the light before.
Yep.
That would be a
You'd
nice
have to prepare that
way to
spell.
cap off the evening. Just a big feast of meat.
Frog
have to
legs?
do it in
Night.
They'd have to do it in the morning. They don't have
Yeah.
that miracle prepared.
Oh.
And unfortunately, Owen is going to stick with Detect Evil. That's been giving him some value.
Okay, go frogs.
But yeah, we'll keep, I don't know, 2 of them to bring back. If they're
Okay.
not, I mean, I don't know. I don't want it to, if they slow us down, then we'll only bring 1 back.
Okay, you should be able to squeeze them in there, given that you have boats.
Speaking of licking the toads, have we worked out what weird effect that failed saving throw might have produced?
Yeah,
In character, no. Out of character, I shall reveal it presently. After your little adventure with the toads, you settle in on your new position, build a fire, lie down, have a night's rest. Wolfkill, you have troubled dreams that night. You dream for a solid 6 hours of an immense toad, the size of the church back in Caden's Rest, just staring at you. You're trapped in a small space with it, and this immense toad is just staring at you. In a way, it doesn't see you, not properly, not the way a mammal does. Its eyes don't point at you and focus, and yet you feel the intensity of its attention, the magnitude of its mouth. Inside that mouth there are teeth which will tear you to shreds and devour every part of you, leave you nothing in this world. And at any moment, that toad will move faster than you can blink and snap you up.
It's horrible.
You spend 4 hours dreaming that. And then you wake up.
It's so unsettling because it's like he's not looking at me, but he knows that I'm there, and it's even more creepy.
Yeah.
Tremendous...
That stillness that frogs will have with like a couple of parts pulsating.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're not worth looking at.
You awaken the next day. Your tissues are all intact. You haven't developed any weird slimes. You feel in good health. But you also feel the anxiety that anyone would feel after having a night completely dominated by unsettling, bizarre nightmares that felt like they lasted far longer than they should.
Do I have like a rash or something? Oh.
No, in fact, you regain 1 hit point from your night's sleep. Everyone regains a hit point from their night injury. I suspect most of you guys don't need any magical healing at all.
So the disturbed sleep, does that give me a negative penalty, like a net penalty?
Not yet.
Gonna declare that right when you need to do something.
Oh yeah. This guy gets me. Let me get you guys all lined up-ish. Back. You all board your boats again. Getting creative with boats. And you set sail deeper into the swamps to the north, hoping against hope that you've seen the worst of it. That a few strange frogs is the worst is all you'll have to deal with. As you go farther north, the overhead, the canopy gets thicker and thicker, and your capacity to figure out where you're going gets a little thinner and thinner. One sec. Gotta figure out how to get all these things on the same.
Perdere will kind of wave his hand in front of him to see how much light he sees across his palm.
Unfortunately, along the way, you get lost. The good news is that, thanks to the precautions you've taken, you aren't hopelessly lost. In fact, you realize that you got lost when, in your attempts to navigate forward, or the high night of noon, you bumble back into trees that you've marked before. The good news is you know where you are, and you can take a moment to reorient and figure out where you're going again. The bad news is it costs you a lot of time.
Hmm.
But you do make a little northern progress, just a bit, and you are not assailed by any horrors that night. Everyone knock off a ration as appropriate.
All right.
What are the kobolds cooking for dinner tonight?
Well, we mentioned bread, bacon, since that's more transportable, and just flour. So probably like a sort of bacon stew, so that all of the like fats will get like absorbed into it.
Mm-hmm.
With like a sort of like making sort of a stuffing with the bread to help absorb the juices, and then like thickening it with the wheat, I guess.
Dang.
And I'm not actually sure like a full list of all the rations which were available, but something of that nature.
Sounds
You
good.
guys have a
Delicious,
job?
salty.
You guys have a job? I think they're looking for a better cook down at the.
Bristleback.
I won't say no.
No, not the Bristleback. That
Yeah, I think the Bristleback has a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gumbel knows what they're doing.
Yeah, Gumbel. Yeah, Gumbel. That was it. Gumbel knows
Serve
what they're
this
doing.
up over
What
there,
else?
and you'll have some friends.
Well, we have each other for now.
So here's the important question. What are you doing for water? How are you going to get the water for the soup?
Boil it.
All this time I thought we were.
gotta-
All this time I
You
thought we
have
had
to
water.
filter it, too.
You did have water, but you drank it, and then
Oh.
you spent a long time in the swamp. And now I have to question, what are you going to do with the swamp water to make it potable?
We need to boil and the filter. We can't just boil.
So we make a filter out of somebody's robe or something.
Mhm.
Did we if filters exist? Could we not have just brought one? I didn't know we needed to declare that.
Sure, you brought cheesecloth. That works. I'm more concerned with making sure that you think about these things than I am about using them to
Okay.
mess with you ruthlessly.
Yeah, we mentioned like folding cauldrons because the giants had those.
Well, it was just a big leather. You can do some interesting things with a leather cauldron, but I'll come to that later.
If we're able to readily dig sand, then we can use sand to enhance the filter.
Big brain time.
Yeah.
Coal. We could,
Charcoal.
coal.
Yeah,
Charcoal.
that'd be best actually. But yeah.
Well, Elfkill chews on a little bit of charcoal, just to be safe.
I'm sure it'll be fine. So you have another night's sleep, and now that dream happens again. The frog's a little closer this time.
Oh no. Uh-oh.
You awaken less rested. This will come up if we have a random encounter over the course of the day. Ulfkill is trying to suspect this is going to be a lingering problem.
I'm having nightmares, guys. The toads. The toads. I didn't lick one, did I?
We got rid of them. They're gone. They're dealt with.
First of all, they're frogs.
Yeah, but I can't.
Yeah.
Stop being a
I can't-
baby.
I can't sleep at night.
Can't
I'm
sleep.
glad I didn't lick that frog. I was totally gonna lick it.
It's like it's not exactly looking at me, but it's very intense. Like it's gonna pounce any second. It's as huge as the church.
That's pretty big.
Frog the size of a church? I mean,
We better take it up with Blumbat when we get back.
I'm not sure we should be dragging this corpse frog with us. Maybe it's bad luck, guys. Like an albatross.
Maybe we should ditch it.
Yeah,
That right?
hey, I'm all for the See, it's
Gotta get that
cursed.
reference.
That's what'll get him to drop it.
cool.
I'll keep that in mind. I'll put that in my back pocket.
It is honestly.
Next time someone decides to drag a greasy bag of guts back to town for no damn reason.
I will say that you are going to have to either clean the body of the toad or ditch it because it is decaying rapidly in this
Oh
environment.
God.
This toad is getting gross.
Does anyone know how to clean a frog?
The toad is getting gross.
I'll show you how. Here, hand it over.
he
I'm
gives it
carrying
to Monakin.
Anakin slings it as far as his hands will, straight back to the frog.
It vanishes into the water and doesn't leave so much as a ripple.
Now I got the frog guap on my hands.
Well, you know, Ullman rejects, you know, half the stuff we bring anyway. Never mind.
That's true.
Exactly. Crazy if you think he's going to care about this.
He pays well for stuff he does take, though.
Yeah, well.
Well, slimy toads.
With that dealt with.
Start
he
adding a
pulls back
smell
forward.
bonus.
Left Stance chimes in. You know, I've been wondering. The man lives in a hut at the edge of a swamp. Not at the edge of a river. Where's he get the gold? Because he seems to have great fistfuls of it.
I've been wondering the same thing, and I don't know if I want that answer.
You don't suppose it's in his hut, do you?
You think we should rob him?
I think that
now,
we
my
should
friend, I would
rethink
never
that.
suggest something so
Anakin puts his
unneighborly.
hands over his ears.
I would never suggest something so unneighborly, but, you know, now that you've raised the prospect, I just, you know, it bears some consideration, some contemplation.
You don't want to cross that guy.
Oh, it's true, I do not. He
Well, that
frightens
might
me.
be a little bit of a stab in the golden goose situation, because probably doesn't just have a single finite supply of gold. He's got some kind of business going on, which might be much worse.
You raise a good point, little lizard. Which one are you again?
I'm Zox.
Hello, Zox.
Hi.
He's a man of curious means, but the little I've seen
Attacking the shopkeeper's usually a bad plan.
of this, I don't even know if I would call him a man, and I'll leave it at that. You do as you will, and I will caution you against anything along that line of thought.
And the kobolds are just like, does that mean he's a girl human? No, that's not how that works.
The frog has been dealt with. I guess we'll continue forward. If Oathkill would like to kind of take up the second rank instead of the front, you okay with that?
Yeah.
Or are you
'Cause
still
I'm not-
want to help kind of clear the way?
Yeah, because I'm feeling queasy, you mean?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
All right. So you have slept in the swamp 2 nights now. On the next day, you once again set sail for north, double checking which way it is because you don't want to get lost again. And you don't. You set sail for the north. The canopy begins to enclose above you, and it's much too early in the day for this, but already it seems like evening is falling as the overhanging branches greedily drink up all the beneficence and kindness the light has to offer, leaving nothing for those of you beneath their shadow.
Perdario kind of walk forward 10 paces, wave his hand in front, see if there's any light across his palm, looking up for any signs of rays or anything piercing the canopy.
Okay. So about that, roll a saving throw, because as you are taking point and watching your path and watching your hand, and you step directly into a thick mire, and let's see if you can recover from that.
All right, this is the wrong die. Let me roll the correct die.
Yeah, a D8 is not the correct die. That
14. That is a success. Yeah. I have a 13
All right.
and a +1.
Very good, very good. So here's what occurs. Praderi, you step forward onto land which looks solid at first glance, but then swallows your leg up without so much as a second glance. You manage to shift your weight so that you do not topple from your other leg, though you are only able to hold on for a second before one of the ones behind you can pull you out. And as you are pulled out, More of these.
Did it seem like we were far enough? Or is Prederi convinced that we're far enough?
Yeah, you think you're far enough.
All right. Let's drop the armor, drop the shield, and let's retreat.
Well, while you are recovering from that,
What a great one.
Roderi,
Cover.
I need you to roll me a surprise check, and I'm going to roll a surprise check for the frogs. What do you
Not
roll?
surprised. 2.
All right. 2 is a surprise.
2 is surprised?
If there's no ranger in the party, yeah. So let's see what sort of range they appear at. Oh, good news. They're far enough away that you're probably not going to be killed this round. Just a moment. Just gonna unscribble these lines here.
Excuse me.
The frogs take you by surprise, gallivanting, leaping towards you in huge bounds, ribboning across the tree line, over stumps, through the water, hauling ass towards you.
Shields up.
Fortunately, they are not quite able to reach you before Perderi is able to recover himself from the bog, which I will quickly draw here.
Instead of trying to shoot them with the kobolds, instead of trying to shoot them with bows, get their shields out instead. So that should make their AC go up by 2. Is that right?
By 1.
Oh, by 1. Okay. 13.
These frogs are too loud. Tone it down, frogs. Much better. Okay. In fact, roll initiative.
I like this music. You know, I've not been doing the best rolls.
But it was good enough. You have the initiative. First, declare spells.
Sleep.
Understood. Aelin begins casting their spell. More, what spell are you casting?
Mirror image.
All right. More begins casting. All right. If you wish to attack with ranged weapons, let me know now.
And,
No one?
I wish to.
shields.
Absolutely.
All right.
Manakan wishes to.
Take your shot, Monacan.
Question: do these seem like they're one-hit die creatures, or more than one?
They look. You suspect they're one-hit die creatures.
Okay.
I got 1 hit for 6 damage.
Nice. That removes one completely.
Odin's gonna use a sling.
1 sec.
No, he's not gonna use a sling. He's not. I'm not.
Where's Monacan? Here.
I think Leofstan will shoot,
All right.
if that's all right.
It is. Take your shot.
Okay.
Ooh, that'll hit. And that'll kill.
Okay, that's 1. Okay.
Okay. Now, if you wish to move and engage the frogs directly, let me know. Otherwise, you can hold position.
I will. Kuderi
Corporate is
and
moving.
Pasling will. Pasling will go
The
first.
kobolds are
actually.
going to try to do this. Hang on.
Hey,
Pasling
Richard,
has her pole arm.
I rolled twice, but it only showed the dice on the first one, so I thought it only rolled once, and that's why I did it 3 times.
Oh, okay. So you actually hit twice. So once. Oh, so you damaged one for 2, and then you killed another for 4.
Okay.
Right.
So far, Perderi has hit twice, once for 6 and once for 5.
Once for. Okay, so those will both kill.
And he's not able to attack and then move, right? It's move, then attack, and that's it?
No, you can keep moving.
Okay.
Or rather, you could have moved here, so I'm going to let you do it.
Okay.
You could have. So you can go take this guy out too.
He will do that, and for 3 damage. And then he will remain there. Pazling will move down. She has her pole arm out.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna move here. And she's gonna start swinging as well.
All right.
And it does the same damage as the 2-handed bastard sword, so I'm just gonna use that roll.
That's fine.
Though she has a 1 more hit modifier. So that's a miss. 1 hit for 7 damage. Oh, she has a 4th attack. Second hit for 5 damage.
See, this is why she makes the kobold so nervous.
Yeah.
All right, Glorpert, let's see your 2 hit.
Okay. Miss. And I think you have to attack a different enemy with the fighter's attack feature, if I recall correctly. So I think that's it.
Let me double check that real fast.
Oh, I don't
we'll
want you
come
to.
back.
Yeah.
You double check, and then
Yes, sir.
and then we'll move on to this thing.
I'll do
Okay.
that.
Ulfkel, you're holding position, or are you? Ranged
No,
attack?
I'm sorry. I was just focused on my other guy. You know, can he get within melee and go ahead and attack?
Yeah, you should be able to get here.
Okay. Yeah, I thought Dobby would go over there.
Okay.
So
I'll be protecting the little ones.
I was
Yeah.
wrong.
Go ahead and take your second shot then.
Six damage.
Yeah.
Gold spear, man.
It's
whoa,
It's a good spear.
nice. Okay, and then Dobby. All right, for 3 with Dobby's club.
You guys are making pretty swift work of these giant frogs.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally didn't take Owenen's turn. I'm sorry. But Owenen can't really progress into that mire, so he is just going to move and. Is right here in the mire, or is that a safe square?
It should be safe.
Okay, he'll move. He'll move there to protect more.
He advances cautiously, and I assume you can sort of. Yeah, he protects more. If nothing else, you just sort of move around them. All right. Kobolds, are you going to close to attack, or gonna let these
Yeah,
humans
let's charge
tug
in
over?
there. Like, there's no actual benefit to hanging back, right? That just lets them attack first.
Unfortunately, so.
Right, that's what I thought. Okay, so can we do this and just all
Yes.
gang up on one?
In fact, you guys have spears with reach, so you guys can stay in a cube formation or a square
okay.
formation.
Hopefully this will be overkill, but last time I rolled 0 hits, so let's find out together. No hits. Wait, 1 hit.
Yep, the 12 will do it.
1 damage. Turnover.
Okay. Da-da.
No, actually, not only that, but I believe that all 4 of those kobolds can occupy 1 grid with 4 spears. Because they can all be within strike with spears within 3 feet, and within it says a second rank, not 10 feet.
We'll come to that one later. That's much more relevant in the situation where we're like pressed into.
I don't know if we want a kobold turtle. I don't know if the kobold
very
phalanx,
point.
the famed kobold phalanx, you know.
Oh yeah, I like that, but like they're not gonna be that much more effective either way. So like whatever.
Yeah, in this circumstance in the swamp, a phalanx is swamp is bad phalanx territory.
Anyway.
All right, I think that's all the Frongog and Naum. Are those guys doing anything?
Yes.
All right.
All right. So, who's left? There's one.
Bottom left, bottom right, top right.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Are you good?
Sorry, I'm trying to squeeze all that combat power out of those kobolds, you know.
It's nice being able for the fighters being able to fight
It's
her.
like misses.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, so
Sleep go off.
the sleep does go off, and 1, 2, 3. Roll for hit dice.
They're one hit dice.
Yes. So I believe that's 4d6.
It's 2d8.
Okay. Well, that is enough either way. You have once again.
Well, with what's happening with Oofkill and with this, there's only one thing we can do, and that's track down the frog god and end this. I'm kidding. Kind of. Kind of.
You're
Maybe
probably
we will
right.
have to track it
I
down.
hate it.
I don't know. But they make so many third-party supplements.
I pick up the kobold and I throw it in the swamp.
I got your frog god. Over there in the glop.
Oh, that's the other guy.
Okay. So I assume you're going to take advantage of this conveniently placed globule of mud to consign the iron to the pog.
So the other frogs have retreated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll. I guess we can bury it under. We'll place it, cover it in muck, and see how do we want to mark this. Is there anything like identifiable about this place where we are right now that stands out from the surroundings?
There's a lot of dead frogs in it.
Well, that'll last.
But
That'll last like a couple of days tops.
Yeah. There's it seems pretty straightforward. Or sorry, it seems pretty much like every other spot. You weren't thinking about it too hard when you were wandering around here.
Well, we could
Finding
make
it again
different.
might be difficult, but yeah, you could make it different.
Are there like any stones? Maybe we could build like a little, I don't know, a little cairn or something.
A cairn, yeah, that's a good idea. We could do that.
I've got this
Hasling.
mirror.
If you have a silver mirror and you hang that up, that'll certainly be extremely visible. There's a
Yeah.
small chance that someone will just see it and like, oh, a free
Mirror.
collectible treasure item. I need those experience points,
I
and
mean,
just walk away with it.
that'd be really good though if we have like a bright light, like it'll glint off whatever light. That's a good
Yeah,
idea.
it'll be very visible.
You could hang it from a rope so maybe it spins and throws light. I don't know.
Maybe, but how are we on stone availability?
Not a lot of stone here. This is, like, as you may surmise, it is a big, swampy bog. The terrain is mostly soft. The soils are mostly dry. You have to dig down pretty deep to get sand, and you don't find a lot of, like, solid stones here. This is a pretty mired area.
How closely packed are the trees?
Pretty closely packed. Like, there's not many places where you can extend your one arm and the opposite leg as far as you can without being able to touch another tree from one tree with your hand and another tree with your opposite hand. The same is
We'll
not
s-
true for the kobolds, but for Pryderi's tall.
We'll sacrifice Pasling's rope, and we have it between the trees to basically have them cross over where
that's a good
the
idea.
objects are, and then
Cool.
Pryderi will go around and like basically carve a ring around trees and a big circle around it.
Okay.
So
This'll
taking a minute to do
Also,
this.
how
Yeah.
about a pile of frog heads? That'll be less attractive to scavengers, and they'll just be like frog skulls later.
That'll be very attractive to scavengers.
Alright.
I think this is a buffet
Oh.
right here. We should probably
Yeah.
clear the bodies away.
Okay. So you guys are going to spend some time setting this up to make it easy to find later? Let's see if anything comes upon you while you guys are at it. You get lucky. Keep an eye
Should
over
we-
your shoulder. Sometimes Ulfkill hears the distant echoing of an enormous croaking frog somewhere on the horizon. Always coming a little closer. Or maybe it's just getting bigger. But you have marked your position. You're pretty sure you'll be able to find this again later, albeit with some difficulty. Are you going to do anything to get a sense to like orient yourself more generally in terms of like where you are? Basically, you now recognize this place when you see it. Are you going to do anything to get a better sense of where this is so that you can get back here again more easily?
I am.
We
picking
could
up
try
what you're putting
climbing some
down.
trees some more and like looking into the distance.
Yeah.
You could go up a tree. Monacan,
Yeah.
how brave do you feel?
Monacan has a very high climb possibility. So he
But to be
was-
clear, Monacan can climb these trees no problem, so
Oh,
can
okay.
Listen. Like, they can just go up. Like, there's no dice will be involved here. They can
We'll just
simply
do it
do
then.
that.
yeah.
The question is what will be up waiting for them at the top, if anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
We'll just
do
be
do
careful.
we
We'll just be
hear-
careful about climbing the ones that we tethered together, because then, like, if a rope broke, you would just like fly over the horizon.
Okay, well, with +1 dagger in hand.
Do you want a second dagger?
Or teeth.
A second
no,
plus
I
one
don't
dagger?
think I don't think a second dagger will.
Do,
Well,
do
you
we
know
think
what, it
there's
might.
just like a monster up a random tree?
I'll
Well,
give you Spellbreaker.
do I hear any? Do we hear? I mean,
You
this is your fault, Richard. This is your fault for saying what's waiting for you at the top. So
Monacan, overcome with caution, takes all appropriate steps before climbing to the top of the tree, and then eventually does so. Nothing is there waiting for him to kill him.
That he sees.
Yes, that he sees or senses. But he can orient himself a bit from here. To the south, you can see the sun, for starters, which helps a lot. To the south and east, he can see the marshes open up into... Sorry, the marshes and swamps open up into a lake. So he's northwest of the lake. To the northwest, he can see a large hill in the distance, encroaching at the edge of the trees. He can... Let's see, what else can you see? He can't see any of the towers of Zelkor's Ferry, or rather the church tower, which is pretty much the only one. He can't see any dangerously nearby wizard towers. But he's pretty sure that from... He takes a little while drinking in the area, and he's pretty sure he could sort of triangulate his way back to more or less this position later. And he comes back down again, no worse the wear.
Was the hill to the which direction?
Northwest.
So we are southeast of it.
You are southeast of the hill bordering the trees, and northwest of the lake.
I
would-
know
I
which
was
lake
gonna-
is the lake. I'm just kind of trying to map a little bit, but not really. Go ahead.
I was going to suggest, is this a good idea or not? But we've got the mirror, but what about dangling some iron spikes so that in the breeze that clang together? Would that do anything?
It might ward off fairies. Cold iron usually does that. Not in the sense of like they touches it and they die, but they see it and they're like, and they walk the other direction.
It's an affront.
How many
It's
days
more like-
have we marched into the swamp so far? Like a day?
We're on the third day.
Effectively, you've slept in it twice, and but the second
third
day
day?
you got lost and didn't make much northern progress at all. So effectively 2.5, like 2 and a bit days.
But it's been it's been 3.5 days, but it's 2.5 days north of the
Yeah.
bend in the river.
If Algar was here, he could probably give you precise coordinates.
Do we have a concept of where the lake is in relation to that river?
Yeah. If you go down the river, eventually you reach a point where there's two flows, one converging from the northwest, one converging from the southwest.
Yeah.
And
Oh wait,
it
so we're
flows
going down
east-
the river, but we're going upstream.
I don't think so. I'm a little confused. What?
Oh,
I'm not.
well, if we found a place where it converges, it seems like we were going upstream. But we're going downstream to a place where it. I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, you suggested we go down the river to a place where the river converges. Is that correct?
Yes. If you go east down the river, eventually you reach a kind of intersection where there's one coming in from the southwest, one coming in from the northwest, and then it continues east to the sea. And that's also where there's the small side flow that goes into that river, where if you go up that side flow, it goes into the Great Cavern. This is the sort of thing
I
where
shouldn't be trying to map it because I'm just not as familiar with like the location of the Great Cavern is. So.
Are we meant to be on a different tab right now, by the way, Richard?
No, I'm just looking at the
Oh,
main map.
okay. Right.
Like
Check.
you guys. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I can just show you on the overland map. Why not?
Well, I mean,
You guys are here, more or less.
Okay.
And now, having given you a brief glimpse, I take it away again.
Definitely confused about that river, but I'll just assume that other people understand it better.
The river situation around here is complicated, as all estuaries are. Attempting to maintain
Okay, well,
sensible.
I do want to establish one thing, which is that when you say you go down a river, does that to you always mean downstream, or does it just
Yes.
mean okay?
Yeah, if I say you're going up a river, I usually mean you're going against
Yeah.
the flow. If I say
I
you're
thought
going
we
down
were
the river,
Yeah, I thought we were traveling west when you said down. When you said down, but the river's moving east.
yes.
Okay.
This is
So
why I
we've been
usually
fol-
just draw maps.
Yeah, so we've been following the river. So when you say we're going down the river, you mean we are following the river to the sea, to the east.
Yes.
Okay.
That's how you got here, I believe.
Oh, I thought we were going upstream.
No.
Okay.
Okay. We will resolve further geographic complexities later. For now, you guys can leave, assuming you can escape alive.
Well, let's
Yes.
no time like the present.
Okay, so.
Let's trudge it, boys.
Whee!
Got a lot of good trudging ahead of us.
So, da-da-da-da. That already happened. So you head south.
Well, we've done the easy part so far.
You head south. You have a night's rest. More horrifying dreams. From henceforth, I will permit John to narrate his toad nightmares as he sees fit, but they are continuing.
I dreamt it shoved a frog leg in my mouth to taunt me, and it was slimy and bitter. I gagged, I retched.
You have to keep talking about it. It's kind of getting to me, man. It's kind of getting me.
Seems to be getting to him too.
You have no idea.
Let's try to get it off your mind with some peas and onion soup and more of that bacon.
You get lost on the way south, but fortunately,
Oh god.
but you did again. You took appropriate precautions, and it delays you rather than imperiling your very life. Though, of course, you've been in here for about 3 nights now, so if you guys are running out of rations, now's a good time to let me know.
Wait, it's been 3? I thought we hit 3 a couple days ago.
Nope.
Nope.
Okay.
That was the third night. Yeah.
Okay. Do you make it out alive?
At Ulfkill's recommendation, we brought 10 kobold days worth of rations. Sorry, we brought 10 days for all of them. It's 40 kobold days.
The fourth night in the swamp. Yeah. You have your fourth night in the swamp. You make it through up. You are again get lost on the fourth day. This is becoming kind of a low-end nightmarish ideal, extremely nightmarish ideal for Ulfkel, who is starting to hallucinate giant frogs in the corners of his eyes.
Oh, shit.
But you haven't actually been attacked by anything yet. So that's
But we also
third
can't
night.
navigate properly.
That is true.
Let's just try to. Should we try to abandon the trail that we had and just focus on going south every day? Like, as long as we're climbing a tree and checking the sun, we can always go south, right?
That is true. You want to do that?
Yeah, the river was going west to east, so we're gonna run into it eventually, right?
Yeah,
We
it's a good idea.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, let's just focus on going south then.
let's do it.
You have a fifth unpleasant night in the swamp. Fifth night, Ulfkel dreams that he is a toad. It's more relaxing, but more annihilating. But far more unsettling. He
Not
awakens.
liking this at all.
He awakens rested but uncomfortable. And then, you finally find the river again. You are a good bit downstream, which is to say, farther to the east than you originally intended to be.
It's good we're
But you
Going
are
east.
all still here. From here, you can make it out of the. You can swim upriver in more or less in something resembling safety, but it'll still take you a couple days to get there.
Wolfkill has swallowed some of the fresh rations in his fevered dreams that he is in fact a toad.
Did you forget to chew?
Yes,
Roll a saving throw.
yeah.
to be honest.
Has the Heimlich been invented?
No, you'll just have to slap him on the back really hard.
You guys watch in faint alarm as Ulfkel swallows whole an entire, like, 3 pieces of bacon at once.
A rasher of bacon.
Just gulping the whole thing down, like a heron gulping down a fish.
And I look around for a brace of conies while I'm at it.
You're not hungry anymore. That was a lot of food.
What's tater?
We'll
What's
just look at him
tater,
like, damn, that
precious?
dude's hungry. How's his complexion looking? I mean, not that I know what's normal. Like,
Oh,
you guys
no.
know it's weird.
Interestingly, the good news is, physically, he seems all right. Psychologically, this is taking a toll on him, but he's not turning amphibious. He's not. His face isn't changing shape. There aren't webs between his fingers. He's just having awful nightmares every night.
He's been away from his hideous burning sun god too long.
No, okay, well, yeah, I guess he's getting a little paler, but that's normal.
I would recommend that you speak more lightly of that around this
Sorry,
group and our people.
It's the brilliant radiance of the burning sun, which scalds us at all times.
There you go.
You'll come around.
I'm really starting to think that frogs have really got it made, you guys. That one that was as large as a church, it just seems so reverent and majestic.
It does have a certain
Buddy, if you think
horrible
huge frogs
gravitas to it.
Buddy, if you think huge frogs have a horrible gravitas, let me tell you about dragons. But we'll do that later when these guys are.
So,
Wolfkill starts burping, and it sounds vaguely like he says ribbit.
Ulfkel has had a. No, see, now that Ulfkel has said that, he's come to an important insight. The toad isn't just the size of a church. The toad is a church. The toad is itself a holy structure
Oh,
which encompasses worship.
that's deep,
can't-
bro.
He's not sure what that means yet, but it sticks in his head. The toad is a church. The church is the toad.
Oh no. Getting
And
worse.
that's the idea which is lingering on his head as you guys finally make it back upstream to Zelkor's Ferry. Like, a full 7 days after you left. Thoroughly tired, your arms sore from all the rowing. But all of you guys are still alive. None of you were killed by the horrible things in the swamp. And Ulfkel, do
He's
you want to
undergone
get a
some
Do you want to get a remove curse? Do you want to seek medical treatment? Or do you want to go deeper down the toad hole?
The toad hole.
I mean, at this point, even the kobolds are just like, we gotta get this.
toad
We gotta get this guy some help.
I
Like, even the
keep,
kobolds are like, okay, this is
Yeah.
getting weird.
I keep burping in their face, and I'm sorry. I just feel the pull. There's something about that swamp that was so comfortable. I kind of want to go back. You guys want to go back soon?
No one wants to do that.
I'm not saying that's not comfortable.
Owen and cast Detect Evil.
So, John, Ulfkel is not an evil man, but there is a unholy power lingering around him, or at least something which is antagonistic to the light. There's unholy power lingering around him. Like, Ulfkel has something. Something is awry with Ulfkel. This is not merely a bad psychological reaction. He is under some sort of dark power.
Maybe he's got a frog in him.
I got a frog in my throat, you guys. Anyone for toad in the hole for breakfast?
Owen shares it with Perderi, but does not reveal it to Ulfkel to avoid causing him distress until we are safely back, at which point he will raise it so that proper quarantines can be taken.
Okay.
What are you guys doing? What's wrong?
You guys going to cast, get him like a remove curse or a cure disease?
I
One of
assume
those
they're
things?
gonna try like wrestling him over to the priest to get the curse removed, but I'm too squishy. I physically cannot help with that.
It's fine.
Well,
Go start up that restaurant you were thinking of.
it was
Yay.
mentioned once in the past, and I just want to make sure that it's still a thing. Is it not true that Father Bloombad detects basically checks everyone who enters the
He can't
peninsula?
check. He can't. Yes, he does do that. That's one of the reasons that the population of the peninsula is as low as it is. People who don't pass his test wind up shacking up in Krogville, or they wind up shacking up in along the coast. Although mostly the people who shack up along the coast are there because the land is cheap, they want it, and they have no money. It's like living in Krogville is a sign that you are a person who might have been able to make it in the peninsula, but Father Bloombad took one look at you and told you to buzz off, which is regarded there as a sign of, something of a sign of prestige. But living on the coast is a sign of like, oh, you are a peasant. How are you doing, fellow peasant? How's the land? Are you growing any grains today? Nice.
I don't really want to see Father Bloombad right now. Later, let's go to Krogville. It reminds me of Frogville.
No. Drag his ass back to Brother Bloombad if he has to.
All right, so out of character, don't want to remove your agency, John. What do you want?
Out of character?
Yeah, what's John want?
I mean, I don't want to become a frog god worshiper, or
Okay.
I mean,
then yeah, we're there's gonna be some.
He's gonna resist, but
that happens.
you should pull him out of there.
Okay.
Get him to the church on time.
Upon the remove curse, nothing obviously happens. But that night, for the first night in 7 days, Ulfkel dreams of something sane, and awakens the next day feeling rested in a way which allows him to recognize that his behavior recently has been odd.
I apologize, you guys. I have no idea what got into me. It was the smell. That
You
carcass.
seem very content.
Toads are pretty.
Yeah, he seems
Toads are habitually content.
The frog abides.
Now it's a bit early, but I do have one more plot beat to drop on you guys, which is especially appropriate now that since Perderi is calling, because Niesel's back.
Hey, how are your hands?
Niesel returns in the company of Sister Florence.
How high can he count?
He can count to 10 again. Though he wears gloves, and on account of his new fingers look weird, and he regales you with the following tale. He traveled south with Sister Florence to the great cities in the south, where they met the High Patriarch of the Church. And Sister Florence gave a report on what she had seen there in the peninsula, Cadence Rest, and the surrounds. And Niesel was questioned as well. And the letter from Father Bloombad was received. And there was much contemplation among the high priests of the light. And eventually, they made the decision to accept the fait accompli of Bloombad's presence here. But they've sent a pair of monks from the south to teach him better lettering, since they are concerned about the quality of his ability to write missives. They have sent Sister Florence to escort Niesel back, and Niesel has been quested to assist you guys in your long crusade against chaos for the duration, for the rest of his natural life, in exchange for getting his fingies redone. To which his response is, "That's just my luck, isn't it?" But he is pleased to see you again, but honestly, he would have preferred to stay away. But no, this is his job now.
We will find what and there's many of interest to be had, but we will let me know if you're not feeling, if a day feels foul to you.
Well,
I mean, he doesn't need to share a treasure.
Yeah.
He is a member of this team.
He's pleased to see that none of you have died in his absence. He was kind of half expecting to come back to, some new bodies, or some new graves in the churchyard, empty or not. And he's pleased that you haven't. He does notice that what's his name? That Norbert is gone, and he introduces himself to Gloopert. He immediately assumed, from Gloopert's tremendous charisma, he assumes that Gloopert is someone way more important than he is. Shakes his hand, nods
Yeah,
approvingly.
Gloopert acts way more important than he is.
Oh, good. And with that, you guys have successfully quested into the hard darkness of the northeast, the Dragonmarsh lowlands. You have returned alive. You have been fortunate enough on your random encounter checks to encounter things which you could garner some experience points from, and not encounter the things which would kill 1d3 players per turn. Not characters.
Planeswalkers.
Yes.